Boom, 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 boom. Now tell me what you gonna do, but it ain't nowhere to run. When judgment comes for you, when judgment comes for you, tell me what you gonna do, when it ain't nowhere to hide. When judgment comes for you, 'cause it's gonna come for you.
Making it for water, easy, see something Charlie. Little boo guy's got him, and I'm gonna miss everybody out of row and flow like I ain't looked at a while. Like I'm praying for dust, and they play too deep for being sad. Little legs I got to be. Tell me your feature deceased, would it please? Marry me by my grand, when you can go follow
God
them.
bless you, working
Back
on the
on
plan to
Wrestling
heaven.
Welcome back to the CrosUp. Your weekly look back at the week that was in professional wrestling. This week I'll be running through the results and happenings from Raw on June 30th to Collision on July 5th. We will start with Raw. We have a long Night of Champions recap to kind of update us on things that happened the past weekend. We then get Rhea Ripley coming out to get things going. She welcomes us to Monday Night Mommy. Ripley then is cut off by the Women's World Champion Io Sky. Ripley isn't pleased, but Sky says she needs to defend her title at Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view, and that includes the fact that she wants it to be against Rhea Ripley, who she says she respects greatly. Then Rhea says she respects her as well, and that she'll stop at nothing to get her title back. And the match seems to be on for Revolution, with it being all but official, which I'm assuming Adam Pearce throughout the night did so, as that's kind of his gimmick. We then go to Dominic Mysterio. He gives the Judgment Day a pep talk, but AJ Styles comes in wearing his readers, actually, or he whips them out at some point, so he has to look intelligent with his glasses on. But Dominic says he's still injured, so there's no title match yet. Styles even, like I said, puts on his glasses, which lets him, Dominic shows him the doctor's note, and AJ reads that it's he actually has a case of the punk ass, that he's being a punk ass bitch, and he kind of threatens to hit him, but Dominic just continues to hold the doctor's note up in front of him. So pretty good scene there from AJ and Dom, continuing to put off that match, but we'll see it eventually. We then get Judgment Day. They defeat the New Day to become the new World Tag Team Champions when Finn hit the coup de grace on Xavier Woods. So pretty mad reign from the New Day. I like the idea of it to start with, as it was kind of to build off the turn on Big E, but they really didn't do much with it. That's not particularly the fault of the New Day per se, but the tag team division on Raw as opposed to SmackDown is just pretty weak. There's not too many teams. This is the Judgment Day's like fourth or fifth reign at this point, which is emblematic of how weak the Raw division is, because they have to keep going back to the same team as the champions. So, but Finn and JD are your new tag team champions. We look back at Lyra Valkyria accidentally costing Bayley the Women's Intercontinental Championship last week. Bayley isn't happy when Lyra comes in. Lyra doesn't know who Bayley is anymore, and they argue about not knowing each other anymore, and that they've both changed in their own eyes. Adam Pearce then announces that he has made a match between the two of them, and the winner will challenge Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at Evolution. We then get a video on Goldberg, kind of shows his time in WCW, as well as his runs in WWE, his first run, as well as his kind of comeback runs that he's had over the last decade or so. We then look at Penta attacking Chad Gable last week and breaking his arm. Gable then talks to American Made and Ivy Nile. He tells him to hold the fort down while he's gone, as he has a surgery. I still don't think we know exactly what it's on. It's kind of an undisclosed injury. But then Adam Pearce comes in to say we won't be seeing El Grande Americano anytime soon either. The team isn't sure what they'll do without Gable. And then Gable tells them just to listen to Ivy and they'll be in good shape. We then get Judgment Day. They meet with Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. They need to make a decision on the Women's Tag Team Championship. Finn offers the solution to give Raquel just the opportunity to pick a new partner, and Finn thinks it would be a good idea for it to be Roxanne Perez. The GMs agree with the caveat that they have to prove themselves in a title defense at Evolution, where they will face a team from Raw, a team from SmackDown, and a team from NXT. So 4-way coming at Evolution. They're really bulking this thing up, as I believe later on tonight they'll announce a Battle Royal. So pretty much any woman on the roster is going to get a shot to compete on this show. We then get the finally the match between Rusev and Sheamus. Rusev defeats him when he hits the running Machka kick to kind of down Sheamus and beat him via pinfall. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, like I said, announce a Evolution Battle Royal with the winner getting a title shot at the Clash at the Castle or Clash in Paris or whatever they're calling it. That's taking place in September, I believe. We then get Ivy Nile in the back again. She's ready for the Battle Royal, but then a new El Grande Americano walks up and kind of poses without saying anything. And then Ivy Nile and American Made are stunned, but seem to follow him despite not knowing who exactly it is. Very clearly, Ludwig Kaiser. I'm not letting the cat out of any kind of bag there, but yeah. Ludwig Kaiser is going to take over the role of El Grande Americano with Chad Gable out, obviously. And he's kind of been appearing in their little segments the last few weeks, kind of peering from behind and looking. So they were kind of building to something like this anyways. It seems like before the injury, they just kind of had to expedite it because of that. We then get Karrion Kross. He jumps Sami Zayn in the back and demands him to say it. Kross hits him in the ribs with a steel pipe, and a bunch of officials and kind of agents come in and break it up. So Karrion and Sammy are not done with each other yet. We then get Gunther out to the ring to cut a promo. He liked the dominance and destruction that he saw in the Goldberg video, but the whole thing was just like his matches, summed up in 3 minutes. Goldberg has said that he doesn't like bullies, but he has run into the biggest bully of them all. After he exposes Goldberg, the question is who is next for Gunther? And then Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman come out. Rollins says he hasn't seen Gunther since he won the briefcase, but he was only there at Night of Champions to prevent CM Punk from winning the WWE Championship. CM Punk then comes in to chase Rollins off, calls him a coward before shoving Gunther down. Rollins then runs into the crowd where LA Knight jumps him from behind, and then they kind of battle into the concourse. Where Rollins eventually throws a beer in LA Knight's face and kind of runs away. We then cut back to the Judgment Day. They're happy with their tag team titles, but Raquel Rodriguez isn't exactly happy that Roxanne Perez is just being handed Liv's championship. And Liv obviously worked really hard to get it, and is continuing to work hard in rehab for her shoulder injury. They have a vote with Balor and JD McDonough being in for Roxanne being in the group, and Dominic kind of gives a yes, even though he really needs to talk to Liv before he officially votes. And then Raquel really doesn't want it to be, but she sees that the rest of the group kind of wants her in, and she officially makes Perez a part of the team and her tag team champion partner. Then get a Kairi Sane package where she shows that she is still a pirate and wants all of the treasure. In that being championship gold going forward. So we'll see if our pursuits for gold prove to be good, or whether maybe her and Asuka team up to be in the tag team title match, but we'll see. We then get the match between Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. It ends with a double pin, so neither win. They continue to brawl after the match, and they kind of fight into the crowd where it has to be broken up by, again, referees and agents and stuff like that. CM Punk then tells LA Knight to get to the back of the line to fight Seth Rollins. Knight says Punk can have Rollins 6 nights a week, but not on Saturday, because he is going to face him at Saturday night's main event next weekend. We then get Penta. He makes sure that Sami Zayn is ready for tonight's main event, and Zayn seems like he's good despite having taped up ribs. Or, he has a kind of taped up midsection a la DDP, who had a constant issue with that throughout his career. We then have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed defeat Sami Zayn and Penta when Braun hits the super spear on Sami. After the match, Breaker and Reed continue to go after him, but Jey Uso comes in to make the save with a steel chair. So I thought that last match was the best match of the show. The Sheamus-Rusev match was also very good. I think that one's definitely one worth checking out. But the main event, for my liking, just had a little bit more personalness to it. And both matches actually got given a good bit of time. So I would definitely check out the main event and that Rusev Sheamus match. If you like those kind of meaty men slapping meat matches, that was definitely the match for you. So, but we'll go to NXT from here. We open with Joe Hendry defeating Wes Lee via pinfall with a standing ovation after a little help from Mike Santana, who had taken out the rest of High Rise to kind of keep them from interfering in the finish. Santana and Hendry then stand tall as Trick doesn't look happy, as I think he was on commentary during this match. We then get Luca Crucifino out to cut a promo. He wants to talk to Tony D'Angelo, comes out and says the tables have turned. They argue over who has done what to whom in the last few weeks, but Crucifino doesn't want to hear it. Crucifino talks about the things he has sacrificed for D'Angelo and his family, and that is loyalty. Staxton comes in to interrupt, but Crucifino doesn't want to hear from him either. Crucifino then decks D'Angelo seemingly for a bit, siding with Stax. But then Stax comes in, starts talking some more trash, and he does the exact same thing to Stax and says his loyalty belongs to himself. So Luca doesn't want anything to do with either of them anymore, and he is going to be his own man. We then get Obafemi. He wants to see if Yoshiki Inamura has the fire to come after him. And then Inamura with Josh Briggs comes in and says he's ready, but Femi says he is the hunter rather than the hunted. We then get Miles Bourne defeating Lexus King. He hits he beats him via pinfall. He hits a move that kind of looks like the zigzag or the danger zone that Dolph Ziggler / Nick Nemeth does, but I don't think it has a name yet. But basically the zigzag he beats Lexus King with. So we then get another Dark State promo. Says everything that happens around here is because they allow it. They know what they're going to do next, but we, as the fans, do not. We then get another match where Lainey Reed defeats Thea Hale when she wins via pinfall following a running knee. We then get Tavion Heights. He's not happy about still being in the No Quarter Catch crew. Charlie Dempsey agrees to give him one more win and you're out match, but this is his last chance. So I think it's Charlie versus Tavion next week. And if Tavion wins, he's obviously out of the group, kind of like Miles was. We then get Jasper Troy. He says you should fear him, and Obafemi knows what is coming for him if Troy wins tonight, which is destruction, and that he will take his title from him. We then get Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley defeating Sol Ruka and Zarya when Izzy hits the sky high on Sol Ruka. I can't remember if they officially announced it during the show, but this pretty much earns her a Women's North American Championship match for pinning the champion here, but I don't know if they officially announced that throughout the night. We then get Ethan Page. He's with the Vanity Project, who he's kind of been with the last few weeks. Ricky Saints is also in Ava's office with them. Page agrees to let Saints get a title shot if he can run the Vanity Project gauntlet. And then Saints says he's in, but if he wins the Vanity Project gauntlet, he gets to pick the stipulation for the title match. And Ethan Page is kind of apprehensive, but he says deal. So we'll see if he can prove that. I'm not sure whether that's happening on Evolve or on NXT, but I'm pretty sure it's happening on NXT next Tuesday. So we'll see when that happens. But we go to the Chase U classroom where Andre Chase is actually apologizing for last week or the last couple of weeks. He says as a result, he has gotten Cale Dixon a match for next week, and they hug. Chase does his swearing pep talk, but he does it with Dixon rather than at Dixon. Joe Hendry then thanks Mike Santana, who says they're uniting to fight for TNA. They're not friends, but they're fighting together against High Rise next week on NXT, and that works for both of them. Josh Briggs then gives Yoshiki Inamura one last pep talk before his number one contender match, though Inamura says he's got this and doesn't need Briggs to assist him at ringside. We then get Tatum Paxley. She is happy with her and Izzy's win. And Ava then comes in and says that Izzy Dame is the number one contender for the North American title shot. And she's going to get it at Great American Bash. So I wasn't sure if she announced it officially, but there it is. Hank and Tank then come in and accuse the Calling of attacking them last week. And Paxley talks them into giving the Calling a tag team title match on NXT next Tuesday. We then get Yoshiki Inamura defeating Jasper Troy via pinfall following a slam and then a top rope splash. Post-match, Obafemi comes out to stare down with Inamura, and then Javon Evans comes in and drops Jasper Troy because Jasper had attacked him at least once over the last few weeks. So we'll see if Evans and Troy end up facing each other before too long. We then get Jordan Grace. She comes out to cut a promo to end the show. Getting here is the hardest thing she has ever done, and last week reminded her that she thrives on pressure. Evolution is a major event for women's wrestling, and she will be making history. She's terrified of being vulnerable though, and she has been asking herself if she belongs here. She did everything to get here and became someone you can't ignore. Fatal Influence then comes out and interrupts her with JC Jane asking if Jordan Grace is done talking yet. Grace can bench press more than Jane, but she can't carry as much as JC Jane can, as in the division that she is currently carrying as champion. Grace tells her to shut up and says it won't be a surprise when there is a new champion at Evolution. They start to beat down Jordan Grace, but then Blake Monroe comes in and makes the save. Ava comes out and then makes a tag team match for the Great American Bash, where JC Jane and Fallon Henley will face Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace. And then the Fatal Influence girls try to run back to the ring, but quickly get knocked back down once again. So they'll have the tag team match one night, and then the next night they'll have the big title match. As far as best match on NXT, I would go with Inamura and Troy. I thought they had a pretty good bomb fest again, kind of like the Rusev Sheamus match, maybe on a lesser scale, but two big guys beating each other, but pretty good with some stiff strikes. Was a really fun match to watch. So definitely check that one out. We'll go from there to Dynamite. We open up with Hangman Page. He gets things started for us. He says he's had enough. He said enough about this match against Jon Moxley already because he's going to win the championship. You can tie him up and hang him, but you will have to kill him before he lets this chance pass him by again. He knows the Elite and the Death Riders are coming for him, so let's make this a Texas death match. Jon Moxley then comes out, says Page wants to put all the chips on the table. That isn't what Page wants, because Moxley says Page is going to lose. Page isn't going to win because he doesn't want to win. Page doesn't want everything that comes with the title. People call themselves the best in the world, but that's basic bitch shit to Moxley because Page isn't good enough to go into a Texas death match with him. They then start brawling. Page whips out a fork, which draws the rest of the Death Riders in for a save. Moxley bails as Cassignoli and Yuta lay Hangman out. Page gets back up after they kind of leave, says he's still standing. Moxley comes back to the ring, but the Ops then come out and are waiting there to cut them off. Marina Shafir then tries a briefcase shot, but Page takes it away, demanding that the stipulation be made in exchange for the briefcase. Moxley says he's in for a Texas death match. Page goes to leave, but says he needs to show he'll do anything to beat Moxley, and then he hits Marina Shafir with a buckshot lariat and leaves her laying to end the segment. We then have our first match where Mercedes Moné defeats Mina Shirakawa via pinfall with a small package to retain her TBS championship. After the match, Moné decks Shirakawa again and takes out Toni Storm as she tries to make the save. But that's not enough, so Mercedes throws champagne in Luther's face. The Young Bucks then have their own customized limousine, and they go to have a tour of their childhood homes before we cut to our next match, which is MJF defeating Brody King, AR Fox, and Anthony Bowens when he makes Fox tap to the Salt of the Earth. After the match, Mark Briscoe comes out to say MJF will be getting an uninterrupted ass whipping in Dallas. Before then, though, he wants MJF to come to the ring right now on his own for a talkie talk. And if he has anything next to his pickle, he'll do it. Jet Speed then go after the Hurt Syndicate, who come back and lay them out. Jet Speed then keeps getting up and keep getting beaten down as the destruction continue. Kevin Knight then gets up and challenges Shelton Benjamin to a match on Collision. We then get the Young Bucks and Takeshita defeating O'Reilly, Strong, and Bandito when Takeshita hits the Raging Fire on O'Reilly. After the match, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay run in to clear the Bucks out. They still want the EVPs to put their EVP position on the line because the people can get the power back. The Bucks say no because there's nothing in it for them, but Ospreay sweetens the pot, says if the Bucks win, Swerve and Ospreay can't challenge for the world title for the next calendar year. Swerve seems kind of apprehensive at first, but he's confident in their ability to win the match, so he says we're in. They then make Ospreay and Swerve have a match next, and they beat Mortos and Drilistico when they hit Drilistico with a Styles Clash followed by the house call from Swerve. So there's that. And then we have our main event where Kazuchika Okada defeats Kota Ibushi via pinfall with the Rainmaker. And then after the match, the Don Callis family comes down to continue the beatdown, but Kenny Omega returns with a chair to make the save. Ibushi and Omega then beat down Trent Beretta and celebrate to end the show. That match was very good between Okada and Ibushi, but I would give the match of the night to the Bucks and Takeshita versus Paragon and Bandito, as I thought that tag match had a little bit more fire to it throughout the rest. But Okada and Ibushi is definitely worth checking out as well. So, and the 4-way for the number 2 spot in the gauntlet match was also very good as well. So definitely check a good bit of that stuff out because really good in-ring show for Dynamite this week. All right, we're going to move on to Impact from there. We open with the Inspiration defeating Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard when they hit the Idolizer on Crawford, while Blanchard is distracted by Indy Hartwell on commentary. After the match, Hartwell and Blanchard get into a fight, and then Hartwell issues a challenge for a match at Slammiversary. We then get Order 4 coming out. They come out without their leader, Mustafa Ali, to cut a promo. Tasha Steelz reveals that she's the one that called Cedric Alexander and wants both he and Ali out here right now. Alexander then talks about their history on 205 Live and how they wrestled all the way to WrestleMania, whether it was a pre-show or not. But says John Cena himself was in the crowd, as that's the one where he kind of set the challenge out to The Undertaker and then said he was going to be at WrestleMania, whether The Undertaker showed up or not. We then get Ali. He says he doesn't want Alexander's help, but Alexander took everything from him. He wants a WrestleMania rematch, but this time at Slammiversary. That's not what Alexander wants, but he'll do it if that makes Ali happy. The fight isn't on with Alexander and the Great Hands clearing security out. So Alexander versus Mustafa Ali will happen at Slammiversary. We then get Masha Slamovich defeating Killer Kelly in a chain match. She simply just chokes her out with the chain and she passes out. So Masha retains her championship over her former tag team partner and current rival. We then get Fatal Influence coming out from NXT, and they jump Slamovich, and then Xia Brookside and Lei Ying Lee eventually come in and make the save. We then look at Eric Young snapping last week and arguing with the Hometown Man in a digital exclusive. Young then tells the Northern Armory that they need to pick up their game, and then they promise that they will do whatever it takes to impress him. And he challenges them to do so in any way possible. Mike Santana then says he's earned the world title shot at Slammiversary, and it is going to be worth everything he has gone through to get here to become world champion. We then get Matt Cardona. He defeats Eddie Edwards via pinfall with a roll-up after a miscommunication with Brian Myers. After the match, NXT's Dark State runs in and beats down Cardona. We then get shown that the Hometown Man has been attacked backstage. We don't know by who, or we don't see by who. We then get a big video on Leon Slater talking about his years as a TNA fan, and that now he is trying to become the youngest X Division champion in history. It really goes into his career, shows a lot of old photos of him as a child, and it was pretty in depth and pretty cool. I didn't deep dive everything he said, but it was really cool to kind of see his story kind of laid out like that. We then get Mance Warner versus Jake something. It ends in a double DQ when Steve Macklin, who's on commentary, attacks them both after Jake kind of gets in his face on the outside. We then come back from commercial, and Steve Macklin agrees that he will give both of them an international title shot. I don't know if it said it was at Slammiversary or if it was on TV at some point, but it's going to be a three-way for the international championship at some point between Warner, something, and Macklin. Nick Nemeth then defeats Zachary Wentz via pinfall following the Danger Zone when he gets, with a little help from his brother Ryan. Frankie Kazarian then comes out for his new segment, this main event segment that he's going to have called the King's Speech. He gets right to the point and brings out his guest, the three men that are fighting for the world title, Joe Hendry, Mike Santana, and Trick Williams. He's a bigger fan of one of them than the other two, obviously talking about Trick. Kazarian talks to Trick first, with Trick saying that he's already beaten both of them, so he doesn't need to prove anything. The fans say that they believe, but Kazarian believes that they are idiots. Santana gets annoyed at Kazarian for cutting him off and says he's here to be the best in the world, and that's what he'll do at Slammiversary. Hendry says the people are still believing in him, but Trick says he's still the man around here. Kazarian likes what Trick is saying, and then they start to brawl with each other, with Trick and Kaz actually leaving Hendry and Santana laying to end the show. As far as best match on Impact, I would go with Masha versus Killer Kelly in the chain match. I thought it was really physical, probably as good at a chain match as you could probably do on TV, given the parameters and kind of, a little bit of, probably censoring, and you really couldn't go too far, but I think it was probably as physical and good as it probably could have been, but definitely a really good match worth checking out. We then go to SmackDown. We open with Jacob Fatu jumping Solo Sikoa before he can even get out of his car, leaving him hanging out of the window before it gets broken up by security and the agents and stuff like that. We then get Cody Rhodes to come out. He has his crown in his hand as he's the new king of the ring. He shouts at a kid that's in one of the suites at the arena that night. He's battling leukemia, so he wants everybody to cheer for a kid named Cam. Crowd obviously cheers and does kind of what Cody says. Cody then talks about what winning this tournament means. It means that he gets the main event, SummerSlam, against John Cena. He talks about the previous kings and how much it meant to their careers and stuff. Randy Orton comes out to interrupt, though. Orton talks about how he had Rhodes dead to rights at Night of Champions, but he couldn't go that far. He had him in a position where he could have punted his head off, and he just didn't do it. Cody was able to pull the trigger, though, and Orton says he can respect that. He wants Cody to go on to SummerSlam and take Cena out. But Drew McIntyre then interrupts and returns. McIntyre says this sounds like people on the phone saying, "You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up." And he's sick and tired of hearing them, flirt with each other. Rhodes has been buttering up Orton for months, and then he put the knife right in Orton's back, the same back that Orton tweaked, and Rhodes worked it over. The legend of Randy Orton is dead, and McIntyre wants Cody to win at SummerSlam. That way he can take the title from Cody, because he won't hesitate like somebody we know. Orton then turns to Orton, and Orton drops him with an RKO to end this segment. We then go to earlier today, where Charlotte is getting put in the number one contenders tag match with Alexa Bliss, who got the match set up for them. Charlotte isn't happy about teaming with somebody, but all this says, let him handle this situation, and we kind of go off from there. We then get Drew McIntyre. He wants Randy Orton and gets him at Saturday night's main event. McIntyre leaves. Jacob Fatu then comes in, and he is told to find a partner so he can face two of Solo Sikoa's squad tonight. They don't really say which two, but Jimmy Uso then pops up and says, we have a team, so he's going to be his partner tonight. We then get Charlotte and Alexa defeating the Secret Hervis and B-Fab and Michin when Bliss hits the Twisted Bliss on Alba Fire. Charlotte and Alexa qualify for the Women's Tag Team Championship match at Evolution with this victory. Charlotte actually hugs Alexa afterwards, but then gives her kind of a friendly shove to show that they may be partners, but they're still not friends. Nick Aldis then yells at the men's tag team division, saying that and makes the match between Andrade and Rey Fenix versus Fraxium. Other than that, one member of each team will be in an 8-man tag tonight against the Wyatt Six. Johnny Gargano then tries to get a SmackDown tag team division chant going, and it fails miserably as nobody plays along. We then get that match where the Wyatt Six defeat Montez Ford, Berto, Johnny Gargano, and Chris Sabin after Gargano kind of bails and leaves Sabin to get hit with the claw slam from Rowan, and Rowan picks up the pin on Chris Sabin. We then get Julia kind of flaunting her new U.S. Women's title. She says she wants everyone to come after her because the Blue Flame will destroy them. We then get Tiffany Stratton. She brags about her win over Nia Jax in the last woman standing match. Now, though, she's ready to face Jade Cargill at SummerSlam, and then she's going to get to choose her opponent for Evolution, kind of like Io Sky did on Raw. Jade then comes out to interrupt. She respects what Stratton did to Jax last week. She wants Stratton to make a good choice, though, on who her opponent is going to be at Evolution. And Trish Stratus comes out to kind of interrupt. Stratton gets right to the point and offers Stratus a title match at Evolution. Jade kind of seems okay with it, and Stratus talks about how great it is to see an all-women's show based on how it was when she was around. Stratus then wants her kids to see her be champion, but Stratton says WWE runs on Tiffy time, so it's going to be tough for that to be accomplished. We then get Solo Sikoa and his crew in the back in their little, like the smoky room where he always cuts his promo. He welcomes Tala Tonga to the team. They are ready to take out Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu tonight because the family is now complete, even though Tama Tonga is also not there. So I'm assuming he'll join the club when he gets back, though. Jade Cargill then runs into Trish Stratus again, so she'll see her at Evolution and then again at SummerSlam if she pulls the win off. Naomi then sneaks up behind Cargill and decks her with the briefcase, and then Cargill asks Nick Aldis to give her another match with Naomi so she can deal with her once and for all, and Nick Aldis obliges. We then get Andrade and Phoenix defeating Fraxium when Andrade hits the message on Frazier after Phoenix had kind of taken Axiom out on the outside. Damian Priest then runs into Aleister Black. Aleister Black's going to be facing R-Truth next week. Black says Priest is the good guy right now, but violence begets violence. Priest doesn't think he's the good guy and thinks that R-Truth might take care of Black next week just fine on his own. And then we got our main event where Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso defeat Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo when Fatu hits the triple jump moonsault on Sikoa. After the match, though, the announcer's table gets loaded up, but Tongaloa and Tala Tonga come out and lay out Jimmy and Fatu, and then the Bloodline do the triple power bomb on Jacob Fatu through the announce table to end the show. So the Bloodline, or whatever you want to call them, Solo's group, stands tall to end the show because it ended up being 4-on-2, and obviously Jimmy and Jacob can't withstand all that battle. So, but the best match of the show was Fraxium and versus Andrade and Phoenix. Yeah, I think that was pretty far and away the best match on SmackDown. Other matches are fine, but nothing really stood out. But that was really good. Anytime Fraxium gets in the ring, especially with somebody as good as Phoenix and Andrade, they can really do something special. So we'll move from there to Collision. We open with Adam Cole. He says the reason he has a smile on his face is because this is the 100th episode of Collision. The strides this show has made is impressive, and he wants to come out and say a thank you to the fans, everybody that's kind of been involved with AEW to this point. AEW has the best wrestlers on the planet as well as the best fans that Cole has ever seen. He is the TNT champion, and the title isn't going anywhere. He's proud to represent TNT and the company of AEW, and he is proud for their future. He will continue to hold on to this championship because he is Adam Cole, and that is undisputed. Before he can leave, though, Kyle Fletcher's music hits, and the Proto Star comes out. Fletcher wants to congratulate everyone on the milestone of 100 episodes. Cole has had a fantastic run as the face of TNT, but the future belongs to Kyle Fletcher. Kyle tells a little story. He asks if Adam Cole remembers what happened at All In 2023. In the first match of the night, Cole faced a very hungry Kyle Fletcher with MJF and won the ROH Tag Team Championships. And it was the worst night of Kyle Fletcher's career, all for Cole to stroke his own ego and become champion with the guy that he was facing for the world title later in the night. Now Fletcher stands here a different man, and he is the most perfect pro wrestler in the world. Kyle wants to make Cole feel exactly how he felt in 2023. He wants a shot at his TNT championship. Everyone knows that there's nobody more deserving of that shot. Obviously, this brings out someone else, which is Daniel Garcia. Garcia hears them all talking about the future, but they should bring up one name when it comes to that, and that is Daniel Garcia. Garcia isn't looking past Fletcher, but he's distracted by the title sitting on Adam Cole's shoulder, which was previously his. He needs that belt back more than anything. Cole says he has all the respect in the world for Garcia, but he beat him before and he can beat him again. As for Kyle, he's lying. If he thinks he can beat Cole, he's lying to himself. He had him beat last time they faced until the Don Callis family got involved. Cole then says he'll face both of them at All In, but Kyle doesn't want anything like that and doesn't want to be screwed out of a title shot without even being pinned. Garcia then says he's been losing for his entire career, but every time he loses, he gets back up. He's not asking for a title shot because he deserves one. He wants to earn it. So in the main event, he will face Kyle Fletcher, and the winner will face Adam Cole at All In for the TNT Championship. Cole then wishes both men luck and says, "May the best man win." We then go to a Toni Storm package. She says All In will be a lesson. If someone hurts someone you love, you have every right to rip their tits off. There are only two types of people in the world: the ruthless, greedy megalomaniacs and the people who end them. We then get Kevin Knight. He defeats Shelton Benjamin and Nick Wayne when he hits the UFO splash on both of them, but ends up pinning Shelton. Nick Wayne kind of had him pinned, and then he hits it and kind of squashes and sandwiches him, but Shelton was on the bottom, so he ends up pinning Shelton. We then get the cameras catching up with the Death Riders after Dynamite this past week. Claudio goes to shut the door on the cameraman, but thinks better of it and says he has something to say. He is sick of the ops putting their nose in their business. If they want to be heroes, he'll give them the chance. The trios championship that they have is his, and Yuta chips in and says it's his too. And at All In, they have a score to settle. So I don't know if they're expecting Mox to wrestle twice, or if they have another member up their sleeve, or if Pac's back, but we'll see. But it seems to be the Ops versus the Death Riders at All In, but we'll see who their third partner is. We then get Mystico, Hologram, and Mark Briscoe defeating the Don Callis families, represented by Rocky Romero, Trent, and Hinchicero, when Mystico gets Romero to tap to La Mystica. We then see MJF and MVP backstage. MJF wants to talk to Mystico and Mark Briscoe. They don't talky talk, they converse. So Briscoe wants to talk to him one-on-one. When you're in the syndicate, they vibe together. Now they can do what poor people do, and count food stamps or something like that. MVP then takes over and speaks Spanish, which MJF, of course, doesn't understand, but says, when you're in the syndicate, it ain't personal. It's just business. We then get Max Caster in the ring. He knows that the fans' lives here are boring and horrible. They're about to have the best moment of their lives as they get to chant Max Caster's name. He stops the fans and asks if they think this is a joke. This is his life's work. And he has a new chant: "This crowd sucks." And the fans actually pick up and do it themselves. And Nigel kind of comments on how they have pretty low self-esteem in this arena. And then he asks, now who can survive 5 minutes with the best wrestler alive? And it is the returning Scorpio Sky. He's with Christopher Daniels and Top Flight as he comes out. Top Flight kind of shake his hand and dap him up before Sky heads to the ring, and they head back to the back. Scorpio Sky then defeats Max Caster when he via pinfall when he hits a pop-up cutter. We then go backstage with Lexi Nair with Ricochet. Ricochet doesn't want to share what he spoke to the Gates of Agony about last week. Actions speak louder than words, so he asks the camera to follow him around the corner. Ricochet finds the Gates, who have Lee Johnson and Blake Christian beaten up and laying on the ground in pain in the hallway. Ricochet then laughs and just walks away. We then get Willow Nightingale defeating Viperous via pinfall following the Babe with a powerbomb. Renee Paquette then runs into Anthony Bowens backstage after Dynamite. He doesn't have room for negativity. Billy Gunn appears and tells him to get up. This new strategy was apparently to not have Billy out there, but it doesn't seem to be working for him. Gunn then says these are some bumps in the road, and he won't be a star just because he's a singles guy now. Gunn then tells him to trust him, and he extends the scissors, and Bowens scissors him back, which is a sentence that, yes, I just said out loud, and it's insane that I just said. But anyways, we go to the next match where FTR defeats the Outrunners with when they hit the Shatter Machine on Turbo Floyd, while Stokely kind of has Truth Magnum held back by his leg. And we then get an 8-woman tag where Megan Bain, Athena, Tekla, and Julia Hart defeat Anna Jay, Tay Mello, Queen Aminata, and Thunder Rosa when Megan hits a running powerbomb on Anna Jay. We then get a promo from Alex Windsor. She tore her ACL this past year and says she didn't think she would wrestle again. Somehow she made it, and she wants to prove to her son that she has what it takes to be in there with the best and be the best. And we then get our number one contendership for the TNT title at All In, where Kyle Fletcher defeats Daniel Garcia via pinfall following the Brain Buster. So he will face Adam Cole at All In for the TNT Championship. And as far as best match on the show, that one was very good, worth checking out. But the best show for me was the FTR Outrunners match, as they really gave them a good bit of time, and they really threw it all out there. Usually, as much as I'm not as big a fan of them as a lot of other people are, usually when FTR gets a TV match, they usually make the best of it, and it's usually pretty good. So, but yeah, that was definitely a match worth checking out. But I would say AEW's in-ring stuff was pretty good throughout both shows this whole week. Dynamite was definitely one of the better ones for sure. But definitely check out that FTR Outrunners match without a doubt. But that'll do it for the week. Next week's going to be an action-packed one. I might have to drop it a day late as I'm going on vacation next weekend, but we'll see what I can do and how I can kind of get it in. But definitely going to get a show in, but it's going to be jam-packed. We got a NXT show, we got AEW, we got Saturday night's main event, we got I don't think Evolution will be on next week's show, but the other three I'll try to cram in and get in for that show next week. So like I said, it may post maybe Tuesday just because I'm coming back from vacation, but we will see what I can do and get it done. But it'll come out next week without a doubt. But thank you for joining me as always. We'll see you next time.
You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic. I win this, so you hear those horns, you finished. A soldier, and I stay under you fighting. Plus I'm storming on you chumps like I'm thunder and lightning. Ain't no way you breaking me, kid, I'm harder than nails. Plus I keep it on lock like I'm part of the jail. I'm slaughtering stale competition. I got the whole block wishing they could run with my division, but they gone fishing with no bait. Kid, your boy hold weight. I got my soul straight. I brush your mouth like Colgate. In any weather, I'm never better. Your boy's so hot, you never catch me in the next man's sweater. If they hate, let them hate. I drop your whole clan. Lay your ass down for the 3-second tan. Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now.
It's gon' be what it's gon' be. 5 pounds of courage, bloody base, 10 pants with a gold tee. It's a war dance, a victory step. A raw stance is a gift, and you insist it's my rep. John Cena trademark, y'all are so-so. And talk about the bread you make, but don't know the recipe for dough. Aiming guns in all your photos, that's a no-no. When this pop, your lip lock, your big talks a blatant no-so. See what happens when the ice age melt. It seems monetary status is not what matters, but it helps. I'm rocking timepiece by Benny, if any. The same reason y'all could love me is the same reason y'all condemn me. A man's measured by the way that he thinks, not clothing lines, ice links, leather and minks. I spent 20 plus years seeking knowledge of self. So for now, Mark Fred is living life for wealth.
Your time is up, my